Hello everybody, welcome to my channel Programming in C with RSK, and I am your host Rajendra Kulkarni. Friends, in our previous videos we have seen how structure elements or structure variables or structures are defined, how structure variables are initialized, and how those structure variables are used in our programs. In this video, we are going to see how structure variables are passed to the functions and how structure variables are returned by the functions. So let us start our. Now in this slide, we are going to see how structure variables are passed to the function. We have declared a structure called shop having three variables. One is a string variable named garments, another is a int variable, and the third one is also a int variable. We have seen in our earlier programs that a structure can be defined within the main or it can be defined outside of main. A general practice is the structures should be defined outside of main so that they can be known to all the functions which that program is going to use. Whenever we are going to use structure variables as a in a functions, it is mandatory to declare structures outside of main. Why? Because it should be known to all the functions along with main in the program. Now here we have declared one function float invoice, and it has two parameters, struct shop star and int star. So the function returns a float value, and to this function we are going to pass two pointers. One is of struct shop type and another is of type int. Then we have declared another function. It is a void function, it doesn't return anything. The function name is initialize, and to this function we are also again passing a pointer variable of type struct shop. How these functions are defined, how they are used, we are going to see in this program. Now we have declared in the main a array of type struct shop. The name of the array is S and the dimension is 5. We have declared another array named order with dimension 5 and a third variable of type float named bill. Then we have called a functions initialize, to which we are passing address of base address of array of structures type struct shop, and the name of the array is S. So ampersand S subscript 0 passes the address of the 0th element or the base address of the array S, which is of type struct shop. Here we have defined the function. How we have defined it? Void initialize into the bracket struct shop star S. So S is a pointer to of type struct shop. The name is S, and what it is collecting is address of 0th element or a base address of struct shop array type, the array S, which is of type struct shop. So S contains the address, the base address of array S. In this function we have one printf statement which prompts the user to enter values for items, and those values are being collected into the elements of struct shop. How those elements are being accessed? Since S is a receives the address of array of type struct shop name S, we simply use a scanf statement and then ampersand S plus I arrow garments, ampersand S plus I arrow sell price, and ampersand S plus I arrow inventory. So what this scanf function does is, whatever are the values entered by the user are assigned to the elements of struct shop, to the elements of the array S of struct shop through this ampersand S plus I expression. When the I is 0, the values using this scanf statement will be assigned to the 0th element of array S5, 0th element of array S of the main. When I becomes 1, then the next element of the array S will be assigned with these values, and so on up to S is less than, I is less than 5. What we see here is, through one scanf statement we are assigning values to 3 elements of the structure shop to its 0th element, first element, second element, and so on up to 4 elements of the array S. What we are actually doing in this function is, we are initializing the structure individual elements. Then the program prompts user to place the order for whatever are the items available in the shop, which we have initialized through the function initialize. This for loop uses to output first the printf or the prompt order for percentage comma S I dot garments. So what this is doing, this printf statement, this statement is displaying the names of the garments with which we have initialized through initialize function, and when the user enters the quantity he wants for that particular garment, that value through this scanf statement is assigned to the elements of array order. So when I is equal to 0, S subscript 0 dot garments will display the 0th element of structure structure shop, struct shop, and similarly to the 0th element of the array order, int array order, the user input of quantity he wants to purchase will be entered. Once the ordered values are input and this for loop terminates, we enter into another statement of our program. Bill is equal to invoice into bracket ampersand S0 comma order. This invoice is a function which we have declared earlier, which returns a float value. That float value will be assigned to float bill variable we have declared in our main function. And to invoice, what we are sending is again the base address of our struct shop type of array S and the base address of int or array named order. How this function is defined, that we can see here. Float invoice into the bracket struct shop star x comma int star y. So x is declared as a pointer to the structure struct shop, and y is a pointer to the array order, both of which are declared in main. Then there is a float a is equal to 0, that this we have declared a variable within the function. Another variable is I. Then we run a for loop. For I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, a is equal to a plus x plus I, arrow sell price into star of y plus I, and whatever a is receiving or whatever a is evaluated to, that a will be returned by this return a statement. What is a? A is a float. What we are doing here? What we are doing here is we are calculating the invoice or the bill or the order value for the items ordered by the user through this statement order for. We are this function, invoice function, simply calculates the total ordered value for the ordered items. A plus x plus I, what does it gives us? X is a pointer to S, which is a array of type struct shop, which we have declared in our main. Ampersand S 0 gives us the address of 0th element of array S, which is collected by the pointer to the structure shop The pointer name is x. So what it goes on calculating, as the for loop advances, it will go on incrementing till I is incremented and remains less than 5. So float a will, on completion, on termination of the loop, for loop, a will contain the total value of the ordered quantity by the user. This x plus I arrow sale underscore price into star of y plus I. So when I is 0, 0th element of structure array S of the main, the sale price of that structure's element, which is a int type of variable which we have declared as a element of struct shop, that sale price will be multiplied by quantity ordered by the user, which is already available in the array order, and then on termination of the loop, for loop of the function invoice, the total value of ordered items will be returned and collected by this variable bill, and this printf statement displays the total bill that has been calculated by the function invoice. What is the output when I ran this program? First, there was a prompt, enter values for items. The first input I gave was shirts, cost is 200 and inventory is 2000. Then I entered pants, then jeans and skirts and tops with their value or price and inventory. Then as the program advanced and we called the function invoice, it asks user to place your order for shirts. I ordered 2 shirts, I ordered 3 pants, 1 jeans, 6 skirts and 4 tops. After receiving this ordered quantity, the invoice function calculated the total amount of the bill or of the invoice, and that value is returned to our main calling function in the main, and in the main total bill is displayed by which comes out to be 5700 in this particular case. What we should keep in mind is, when the structure variable is to be used in the functions, the structure should be defined outside of main. What this statement tells us is, when we are going to use structure variables outside of main, then those structure variables should also be known to whatever functions are being used and defined outside of main. It is mandatory to declare a structure outside of main, which makes it global. The only thing is, it is mandatory when we are going to use the variables of that structure which we want to use are being used outside the main in the functions declared and initialized by us. If we are not going to use the structure elements anywhere outside the main, we can declare the structure within the main also, not necessary to define it outside main. Now this function initialize. To this function we are passing pointer to an array of structure struct shop s dimensions 5 or subscript 5. This struct shop star tells the compiler that this function is using an array, a pointer of type struct shop. In the initialize function, initialize into the bracket ampersand into the bracket 0. It is a call to the function initialize, to which we are passing base address of the array S, which is of type struct shop. In the invoice function, we are sending, the invoice function returns a float value, which is the bill for the items purchased. How we are making call to the function invoice, bill is equal to invoice into the bracket ampersand S 0 comma order. This is the call we are using to the function invoice. Ampersand S0 passes the address of array of structure named S, and order passes the base address of array order. So this is how we are using functions for utilizing the structure variables. In the previous program, in the previous slide, what we saw is how structure elements or variables, structure variables are passed to the function. In this program, what we are going to see is how a function returns a structure variable. So again, we have declared a function called struct fruits, having 3 individual variables as its elements. This again we have declared outside of main, as it should be known to the functions which we are going to use in this program. Then we have declared a function struct fruits, which returns a return. This struct fruits is the return type. So this init is the name of the function, to which we are passing nothing, but this function is returning the value of the variable type struct fruits. Then we have declared 2 struct fruits variables f and f new. Then we have called the function init. F is equal to init. This is the call to the function. What this function does? It is defined as struct fruits A is equal to orange 100, 100, 10. What it actually means is we are initializing the structure element named A of type struct fruits. We are initializing that variable A with the values. In this case, we are using orange, 100, 10. What does it does tell is name of the fruit is orange, price of the fruit is 100 and quantity of the fruits is 10. Once this A is initialized, the function returns the variable A of type struct fruits, which is collected by variable f of type struct fruits we have declared in the main. So what this function call does is it initializes a variable of type struct fruits, and that variable is passed to the calling function and assigned to a variable named f of type struct fruits in the main. Then this printf statement simply displays whatever has been the entered values. Then we again give a statement f new is equal to f. What this statement does? Here we have f is equal to init function call. This function call returns a variable named a. That a variable a has been assigned to another variable f, which is of struct fruits type. A is also of struct fruits type. So values of individual elements which are contained in A are assigned to individual elements of variable f of type struct fruits. So this is simple assignment statement. In the same way we can use to assign value of one structure variable to another structure variable simply by assignment symbol f new is equal to f. This statement causes the values of all the individual elements of f being assigned to a new variable of type struct fruits called f new. After copy, this printf statement displays the value of f new, which will be the same as that of f, which will be the same as that of a. So when I operated this program, when I executed this program, the first printf statement, after calling the function init, it gives me f dot name, which gives me orange, f dot price, which gives me 100, f dot quantity gives me ordered quantity 10. After copying f to f new, again we got the values of f new using printf, and what we are getting here now is for f new dot name we get orange as the output, f new dot price we get 100, and f new dot quantity we get 10. So what in effect assignment is doing is it is simply assigning or copying the values of individual elements of a structure variable to another structure variable of same type. Most important part is the assignment can be done by assignment operator equal to only when both the variables are of same type. So expression f new is equal to f copies the values of all members of variable f to f new. The most important part is both f and f new must be of same type. So this is how we can assign values of one variable of type structure type to another variable of the same structure type. So thank you for viewing what we saw in this presentation is how structure variables are passed to the function, how function returns the structure variable. If you have liked this video, please visit my channel, like the video, share it, and my channel ID is given here at Rajendra Kulkarni 7333. Thanks again for viewing.